Today we're going to talk about how to inspect rod bearings on an ST9 power end. These are the tools you're going to need, nothing you shouldn't already have in your toolbox. Before we open anything up, let's check out our seals for leaks. We'll talk about how to actually replace these in another video. First step is removing the back plate so we can see inside the pump. Place it to the side, make sure the O-ring's still intact. Look inside the pump for any metal shavings. Large amounts of steel or brass indicate that there's a big problem. So we always inspect the center rod bearing first, since it gets the least lubrication. Let's remove the lube hoses for easy access. Loosen all 4 bolts on the bearing cap with a ratchet wrench. Stick an extension in there and make sure it doesn't drop. Pry both the top and bottom to release the back side of the bearing cap. Once we got that off, check the crank for any deep scratches, which create hot spots in the bearing. To access the thrust side bearing, push against the plunger clamp, which moves the pony rod forward and drops the con rod off the crankshaft. Pry the con rod up to remove the thrust bearing. Place the thrust and return sides together and inspect the bearings. Smooth and even wear showing steel is okay. If you see a lot of brass, it means it's time to change them out. Since these bearings are okay, let's put it all back together. Tap the bearing in place and push the pony rod back in to set the assembly back in place. Next, we're going to tighten down all 4 bolts with an impact. Torque each one to 320 foot-pounds. After every bolt is torqued, apply torque seal to keep track of which ones you've done. And don't be afraid to throw your signature on there, just in case the inspection sticker gets ripped off. Next, we reattach all the hoses you removed earlier. Since hole 3 looked good on this pump, we're done inspecting. If you replace the bearings on hole 3, repeat that process for the remaining 4. Alright, let's button it back up. A stud in the top hole helps easily align the plate onto the pump. Go ahead and reattach the wire clamps and be careful with any wires or sensors that you may run into. Tighten them up with a small impact. There's no need to torque these down. Finally, we put our name, date, and some notes on an inspection sticker, and we slap it on the back of the power end. Great job, let's move on to the next one.